God, that sounds so good. So, anyway, hi, it's Mickey5003. How are you doing today? So we're going to go over a few things. Number one, I picked up some new audio equipment. New old stock stuff. No joke. Something made by Autotech like back in the day. Back in the day, which is, whoa, good stuff. Give me a second. It's a little bit bright for these, and since we're not driving at night anymore, we have like my studio lighting up. Much better. Anyway, so the train just went by, but oh god, just to hear this entry. Woo! Oh wow, it sounds that good. It really does. So, I'm gonna do a long-term roll-up for the Chinese Windows CE, or technically they call it an MP5 head unit. So I'm going to do that. I'm also going to give you a long-term roll-up of the dual audio, the dual amplifier. Dual is a company, they're based in France or something like that. Good stuff, by the way. As far as that, man, wow. Took me a really long time to just kind of tweak the system. It's still not perfect yet. It really isn't. It's about there. It's not there completely yet. So what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to go over a complete build log of how I do this. Tuning, I'm sorry, I'm not going to be able to give you too much information about that because, again, my ears are mine. Your ears are yours. And because a lot of people actually tune with their windows up, which is why I have the windows up right now and my sunroof open. I don't tune like normal people because I listen to my music, the windows down, arms out, relaxing, driving down the road, man, loving it. So that's how I tune my system for it. I'm pretty sure Gary Rich will be very angry at my level settings, and so would a lot of other people, but, whatever. I think, like, for example, Steve Meade, I'm pretty sure that, he had, like, the guys from Rockford come on in and tune his system in his Lexus, and I'm sure it sounds great, but I'm pretty sure he has his own tunings that he kind of likes to do. Every person that's really into audio does it their own way, but that's just kind of how it is. So, other than that, man, I'm just absolutely floored by just how good this system is that I built. And I built it with literally junkyard parts. And before someone goes out, because you're a poor fag, no. I literally could buy anything I want, man. I'm not joking. I just, for example, if I wanted to buy like that $1,000 Focal tweeter, that's great. I just think it's pretty stupid to buy that tweeter and then like not even bother facing it up, like towards you, you know what I mean? Like putting it in a pod and all this. Oh God, man. I have seen some shit and some shit accessories, and that's one of those things. So, someone asked me to make a video about what components do you actually need, right? And can you hear the difference between the different components? I just want to make this very clear. You can. If you're listening like I usually end up doing, like I do in my minivan a lot, where it's just literally I have a very large DC power supply. More than likely, I don't even turn that son of a bitch on. And I have a huge battery bank over there, very stable voltages, because I said fuck using lead acid batteries. I decided to build myself a lithium pack. And then I just roll with that. And in that case, yes. If you are going to have a mobile studio and you want the best, all right, there you go. But do you need to pay $1,000 for tweeters? No. Dude, even Gary Ritchie's tweeters don't cost $1,000. I mean, he designed and custom ordered his own. Okay, so if Gary Ritchie can do it for under $100, man, and I'm not joking, dude. I mean, seriously, under $100, that's something. Now, I want to make this very clear. There's a damn good reason why some of these tweeters cost so much money, or some of these drivers, because, for example, the drivers that I have in my vehicle, there's even with the 6DB crossover, oh, they sound beautiful, but right, you can only ask so much of them. All right. They're not going to be distortion free as you get lower into the resonance or FS frequency, okay? So the thing that I wanted to answer was that what components do you really need? And I'll be honest with you, man. I want you to get a decent deck, okay? And when I mean decent, I mean most OEM decks will do just fine, as long as like they just don't sound like shit. Okay, and I'm absolutely being completely clear with you here. Even I noticed that like the OEM deck that came in my car, because usually I just build from OEM and then use DSP and all that stuff. For me, my OEM deck just didn't sound good. I mean, I remember the first time I got it, my stereo went out like in about 2 or 3 weeks. I mean, when I first got my Cruiser, and so after that, I was like, okay, sure. So what exactly, right, do you want to have as a head unit? I say nothing. I mean, like I said, I always hear this bullshit that I want the best sound quality there is. I want the best. And I don't want to pay shit for it. Well, here you go. All right. Honestly, if you don't want to pay absolutely, I mean, literally, if that's all you're interested in, okay, right, get yourself a PC. Right? Any laptop or whatever like that, just hook it up in your car. All right? Get yourself some Linux software, build it up that way, and get like an Asus Zonar or something like that, the 7.1 channel one. Go ahead and use that to do your DSP crossover and all that other stuff that you want to do with it. Load up whatever music library you want to go ahead and stream right to the device, whether it's Spotify, whatever. Again, it's up to you. Or you just play files right off the thing. If that's what you want to do, there is about nothing that's going to be able to touch that, okay? And the neat thing is that you can actually, use like the digital straight from that computer straight to your amplifiers, okay, or your DA converters or whatever you want to do. But the Asus Zonar, one of the best as far as not hearing anything in the background. It's like absolutely silent and quiet. And you get more stuff to it. Now, you can probably get one of these rigs probably for like $100, right? They use Zonar. They retail for about $200. Totally worth it. The other thing that you can do is that for the PC, it doesn't matter. I mean, literally, any PC made like that you purchase right now should be able to do the job, especially under Linux. Okay? So the only thing that you're really left with is amplification. Now, I love budget hi-fi. But the thing is, I can go out, dude, like I said, I have Sony like XM stuff. I have like, the really good stuff inside of there. I even have some very good amplification in there. Most of the time, I even build some of my own stuff. I mean, I like Class A amplification up front, too. Especially when I'm using, like, passive crossovers. So, the thing is, for most of you out there, dude, if you're on a budget, don't worry about the amp. That is the last thing you need to worry about. Don't worry about the speaker wires and everything else like that, because 99% of the time, if you're worried about a budget, you're probably not going to hear the difference. I'm being completely honest with you. A lot of people don't understand that. So, what do you really need? I don't care what drivers you have. You need to set them up properly. Okay? Dude, I'm sorry to go ahead and burst your bubbles, right? But 99% of that stuff is all installation. Okay? For example, I experimented with having these drivers off access. And no matter what I did, no matter what kind of trickery I did, they sounded better on Axis. There's nothing I can do about that, right? And I mean, I have tried for over 4 years to go ahead and make like the dash locations actually work. Can't. I'm sorry, but you know, the speaker pod, the speakers facing directly at you, best way to do it. You know, that's what I would do, without a doubt, right? The other thing is, people talk about speaker wires. Just use your OEM wires, man. Unless you want to go crazy, go on ahead. But remember, unless you're running like full bandwidth stuff to your, you know, to your mid-bass drivers, even then, man, I mean, you're not really going to get power compression or anything else like that, especially with that AC signal, okay, with the actual music. Most of the time, your speaker wires are probably a little thicker than the wires that are running your LED headlights or your halogen headlights, for that matter, which I found out being the case in many vehicles. The other thing is, now, you know, if you're literally, you just want sound quality, okay, and you just want to get it done, and you want just everything all in one, be done with it, listen, man, you know, there's a reason why the audio control gear is so expensive, because you buy one of their amps with a built-in DSP, right? You can stream anything to it, you can, all that stuff, everything's right there, you're done. You're literally done. For convenience, all right, and ease of flexibility and stuff like that, for most people, just get a Pioneer DSP unit, right? Call it a day, use your phone, you're good. Because I guarantee you, everything that's in that Pioneer DSP, that's like 99.9% of people would be really darn happy. It literally is like the 1% of us that really want that extra capabilities. So, again, I hope this clears up some of that stuff. And as far as drivers and everything else, look, man, I'm gonna level with you here. Some of the best speakers out there, their drivers cost less than $50 each. Okay, and we have audiophiles like, they're like, oh, that's so good, so good. You know, you don't need to spend the money on great drivers, especially if you have a fully active system. You don't need that. Anyway, I'm going to be giving you guys an update really soon about the actual gear that I picked up today, and I got it for a smoking, screaming deal, $15 for a head unit that needs a little bit of repair, and a brand new, never used, mint condition Autotech 5-way crossover. Wow. Woohoo! So yeah, schnazzers. So that pretty much concludes this video. I understand that some of you other folks have other questions and everything else like that. I know I've been asked to help you guys out with a few of your systems. You know, as I get time, I do what I can. But you guys have to understand, like, this one guy said, yeah, man, come on over. I'm like, dude, it's going to take me about 6 hours to actually do it. Because there's a lot of stuff that I do. I go through everything. I'm talking, we pull out your deck. I get out my gear and I'm like, okay, dude, that is some dirty DC. We got to fix this. I mean, all that junk. So that's what I like to do, right? I mean, if you ask me to do something, we're going to do it awesomely. And if you guys are still wondering, don't bother. Honestly, don't bother buying the pre-made separate stuff unless you don't know what you're doing. And for the rest of you, it's a great deal. Okay? It is. All right? It really is. Now, the Infinity one, where, you know, the Kappa series, where you can add that mid-range, you not to the passive, don't do it, man. If you want to go fully active, be my guest on that. But look, just about every single person I spoke with, it's always the same thing. The active crossover, right? some good speakers that really work for you, that you like the tonality and everything else like that. And most of the time, you can get away with your stock drivers. But you have to remember something. You know, your stock drivers are made for stock power levels. Absolutely. Okay? They are not made to be used at like the levels that you might want to listen to, or like large crescendos or anything else like that. Just don't do it. The other thing is, and I'm going to be very clear with you guys about this, if you really want to get the best sound quality, right, dude, you are going to have to do things a little differently. All right, you can't fit everything underneath the dash. Your stereos may have to be remote mounted, your DSP and all that stuff. Yeah, dude, because a lot of you guys are like, oh, the best. You don't even know what the fuck the best is. The best could be fucking Dairy Queen for all you know, dude. So, you know, coming to it with just reasonable expectations, man. And I'm telling you, I think a lot of you are just into the hype. I think a lot of you just want it because someone told you want it. Or you're just like watching other people just like blow your hair in bass. That's easy. Good imaging, good all that other stuff. It's hard. That's why not a lot of people do it. So I'm Mickey 503. Have a great one.